employees or advisors.
Welcome back to Body Beautiful. We are talking right now with Bina Jangda about using acupuncture to treat infertility. We're also going to be taking your calls with any questions you have for her about acupuncture or infertility. The phone number 800-440-4884. We'll also be posting the number for Bina's office during and at the end of the segment. And remember, any advice we give you today, you always want a second opinion. Okay, we left off with the feel-good chemical.
That's right.
Endorphins.
That's right.
Boy, everybody needs an endorphin one time or another.
You definitely need endorphins if you want to get pregnant.
Well, isn't that part of the process?
That is actually part of the process, isn't it? Naturally it is, right?
Right.
But acupuncture will, if you're under a lot of stress, you're not going to be producing a lot of endorphins. You're not. So if you need to relax, you need to do activities that are fun. And if you come to acupuncture because your life is stressed and you're not at that level, then acupuncture will release endorphins.
It does.
It does release endorphins in your brain. And that's why a lot of people come in stressed. They're on the table and inevitably they'll fall asleep or they'll go into a very relaxed state. They'll feel good when they get off the table. I don't know if everyone knows that about acupuncture.
Well, you know, I will say I have had acupuncture before and have had that experience. You almost, you know, it's almost like a little mini vacation.
Right.
You know, an hour on the table is, you know, like, I don't know if they've actually measured that, if it's like the equivalent of several hours sleep. But
it could be. I don't know if they've measured it.
It's a very deep, you know, relaxed state.
Yeah.
Okay, so explain the endorphin thing.
So you release endorphins in your brain, and that triggers something called gonadotropin hormone, releasing hormone, which regulates your FSH and your LH.
Right.
So if you know anything about fertility,
this is like high school, you know, biology.
That's right.
Yes.
And so you need that. You need the FSH for the follicles to produce an egg, and you need the LH to keep the temperature high, for the egg to implant into the uterine lining, and to carry the baby to term.
Okay, now we're talking about a little science here, and you did bring a chart. I'm not sure if this references that, but go ahead and roll this chart.
Let's look at this chart. This chart refers to IVF success rate. So what they've
IVF being in vitro fertilization.
In vitro fertilization, which is a great technique. Its success rate is not. It reduces as you age. So if you're a 40-year-old woman going for IVF, you don't have as much of a success rate as someone who's under 35.
Okay, so the red, just because if you can't see, you know, to the right there, the red is IVF plus acupuncture. So
if you add acupuncture in with IVF treatments, you get a 45% higher success rate. So if you're under 35, that goes from a 40% success rate with IVF to it's a 55% a success rate.
Okay, that's pretty substantial.
It is substantial. If you look at it, if you're in your 40s to 42, it goes from 11 to 18%.
So obviously, the older you get, too, the slimmer your chances of conception and carrying to term.
For IVF help. Now, when we talk about acupuncture, we have two different kinds of age. You have chronological age and you have biological age. But chronological age, everyone ages at the same rate, right? With biological age, it varies from person to person. So the healthier you are, so some women who are already in their 40s have very healthy eggs and can conceive a baby no problem. Their success with IVF goes down. Okay. So that's different.
All right, we've got some phone calls. Do we have time to go ahead and take one of them? Lena from San Francisco, good morning. Do you have a question? You're on the air.
Hello, yes.
Hi, Lena. You have a question for Bina?
Yes. Oh, I'm quite thrilled by this and been reading a lot. So I want to know, does acupuncture heal other forms of ailments? And is it the new alternative facelift?
Oh, we've heard about that too. Okay, so we're moving on from infertility to more general kind of stuff. Well, okay. You know, she did jump into the facelift.
Did. That's okay, and that is, I'd say that half my population that I treat is for infertility. Other half, I've developed a facelift technique that is a combination of microcurrent essential oils and acupuncture, and it is working phenomenally well. So yes, it can help with that as well.
Okay, well, and this is something I don't know anything about. So very briefly about the facelift, so we can answer Lena's question, and we have about 30 seconds.
Sure.
How does that work?
So we look at the biological aging. We slow down the biological aging. We do that by rebalancing the body systems. And then in addition to that, we work on the face. We work with the muscles on the face to help lift. So we work with trigger points where the muscles insert and where they end, or where they originate and where they end. And we also, with the insertion of acupuncture needles in the face, you have collagen production that's stepped up. You increase circulation. If more circulation, more nutrients, better cell rejuvenation.
All right, Lena, hopefully that answered the question for you. We have to take a quick break, but for more information about Bina Jangda, if you're in the Berkeley area, call her at 510-393-7565, or if you're in San Francisco, 415-441-5659, or check her out on the web at binajangdalac.com. You'll also receive 10% off your first patient visit through August 15th when you mention our show, Body Beautiful. And when we come back on Body Beautiful, we'll continue talking about acupuncture and infertility and maybe even more about facelifts. We'll be taking your calls as well.